Hey, welcome to the 9th grade Introduction to Technology Education video series. This is going to be our first video in the series, and it's going to be about our course orientation, part 1. The Introduction to Technology Education class here at Central Dauphin High School is designed to be an exploratory class to give you all a little bit of an experience of all the different classes we teach here at the high school. We teach many levels of engineering. We teach some drafting and design, architectural drawing. We teach some computer animation. We teach a class called Design and Automation, where we get into computer numeric controlled machining and 3D printing. We have a very thriving digital communications class and also a TV studio and production class. So our purpose this semester is to basically give you a little bit of experience in many of those different areas. So to get started, the first thing we probably want to do is define some of the things that we will be doing here in class. Okay, so first thing we have to deal with. We're going to take what we call a STEM education approach to much of what we do in here this semester. So what is STEM education? This is a national initiative on trying to teach these type of things a different way. STEM basically stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. So what's happening in STEM education is we're attempting to show that all of these 4 areas relate to one another and that they should be taught together. We're basically the T and E of STEM, the technology and engineering, but every activity we do in here, we're going to try to show some of the scientific relevance and the mathematics that go along with it. So let's define a few more things. What is science? You've been sitting in science classes basically all your life. So what's happening when you're in science? Well, what's going on in science is you're studying things. Science is a study of the physical and the natural world around us. So every time you're trying to figure out how something works or why it does what it does, it's science. It's a study of things. There is a little bit of getting muddy between all of these different terminologies, like what is science, what is technology. And by tradition, science has been the definition of studying the physical and natural world around us. So if we define that, then what is technology? Technology is one of these terms that's being misused a lot these days. When you think of science, when you think of technology, what do you think of these days? Most people think of computers. Now, technology is a lot more than just computers. There's very technical things. There are other things that are not so technical. Technology, by definition, is the application of scientific knowledge for a practical purpose. Let's say somebody decided many, many years ago that, hey, there's a material out there called graphite. When I scratch it on something, it leaves a black mark. So let's do something practical with that. Let's take that graphite and grind it up and mix it with different glues and different binders to make it right, either darker or lighter, different hardnesses. And let's bind it up in a piece of wood and let's stick a hunk of rubber on the end of it and call it an eraser. You have your first number 2 pencil. That's a form of technology. Now, technology takes many, many different forms, but that's the definition of technology. Let's define engineering. What is engineering? Well, that's a little bit more difficult to define. It is the branch of science and technology concerned with the design, building, and use of engines, machines, and structures. There are many, many different fields of engineering out there. There are civil engineers that basically design bridges and roadways and towers. There are mechanical engineers that worry with, well, that picture that's shown on the screen there, machinery. There are architectural engineers that make sure a house is going to stand up, and biological engineering. There are just so many different fields of engineering. Nuclear engineering, aerospace engineering, they all have very specific areas that they deal with, but they all deal with the mechanics of things. What is manufacturing? We're going to handle manufacturing in here with a project that we're going to complete together. What's Henry Ford known for? A lot of people think, well, Henry Ford invented the car. Nope. Didn't invent the car. He is basically considered the father of modern manufacturing. He basically came up with an assembly line that allows us to manufacture articles on a large scale using machinery with interchangeable parts, meaning every part's the same, every part will fit on any other type of object that you're producing. It just makes life a lot easier for everybody, and you can manufacture a lot of items very cheaply. Manufacturing was once strong in the United States. It's not so strong anymore these days. We have most of our objects manufactured in other countries. China, for example, is our major importer of that we import things from. or that are manufactured. Now, manufacturing is coming back to a degree in the United States, but manufacturing is, again, making objects on a large scale. Let's define communications. Communications by itself could just be you talking to each other, sending smoke signals, writing a letter. Okay, so basically communications is the imparting or exchanging of information or news. Now, how does that fall into this class? Well, let's turn that into digital communications. And digital communication means that we're exchanging information using some form of electronic means. And digital communications, more specifically, is computer. We're using the computer to do a lot of our digital communication today. So we're using it for web design, we're using it for creating advertisements, movies, animations, and even technical drawing, computer-aided drafting and design. Whenever you draw that CAD drawing, it's a form of a digital communication, which takes us to that next definition. What is CAD? CAD is basically drawing machines, plans, and devices on the computers, and CAD stands for computer-aided drafting and design. Sometimes you'll see it as just CAD. People will call it computer-aided drafting, they may call it computer-aided design. We'd like to think we're doing a little bit of both, so we're going to use it as computer-aided drafting and design. So we do a lot of CAD in this department here at Central Dauphin High School. We'll do a little bit here in this class, but if this is the kind of stuff that interests you, if you're thinking of any type of engineering degree, you're going to want to take some CAD courses here at the high school. We have a technical drawing class where they do a lot of two-dimensional CAD using programs like AutoCAD. We get into three-dimensional computer design in that class a little bit. We get into more computer three-dimensional designing in our design and automation class. In design and automation, we'll model those 3D objects on the computer, and we'll actually have the machines make those parts for us. We get into computer control in that one. That's where the automation part comes in, where we actually use computerized Legos to actually create robotic systems. So we do a lot of interesting things in those classes. So, our first assignment here in this class, all of these different areas of technology that we're looking at, there are so many careers, there are so many skilled trades out there. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning, electrician, carpenters, contractors, automotive mechanics. There are so many engineering fields out there. You've got the civil engineer that builds structures. You've got the architectural engineer. You've got the mechanical engineer that designs the mechanical systems in cars and such. You've got aerospace engineers, nuclear engineers. You've got biomechanical engineers. There are so many engineering fields out there that you could really hone in on. You've got drafting and design, you've got web design, you've got computer game design, you've got people that are designing computer apps and computer systems themselves. You've got the architect and the architectural engineer and the home economist and the landscape engineer. You've got so many careers out there that you could look at. The purpose of this activity is to have you think about a career, a technical career that you find interesting. And I want you to research that on the internet. And the career can be from any of these areas of technology. So find a career, you're going to research it on the internet, and then what you're going to do is you're going to complete a career worksheet found online on the class Canvas site. Canvas is the new thing in school that's taken the place of Moodle. So we're going to pilot it this year and see what we can do with it. And we're going to be doing that activity on Canvas. So, gave you a little glimpse there of what we're doing next. So good luck on this career research. When you're done, we're just going to go around the room and have everybody talk about what they found. Good luck.